Hello, my dear apprentices. This is video number 2 to illustrate equivalent fractions. All right, let's get started. Use the folded paper strips. We're not going to use any of that. Okay, so use this. So it says mark 0 to 1 above the number line and 0 thirds, 1 thirds, and 2 thirds. Okay, so here we go. This is what we're going to do. So it's going to be 0 to 1. And they want us to do in between, they want us to do a fraction. So that's going to be divided into 3 parts. Let's do that one right now. It's going to be, this is 1 third, 2 thirds. Okay, so let's label it. Okay, so 0 thirds, that would be right here, 0 thirds. And that will be this number above. And also, that number can also be 0. That will be a 0 as well. And the other one, the opposite end will be a 1 right there. That will be a 1. If you know that we are doing thirds, so then this should be 1 third, right? Let me place that exactly where it should be. This should be 2 thirds, right? And again, the 1 will equal 3 thirds. Let me just, that will be okay then. So this will be 3 over 3. That will be 3 thirds, okay? So now we have selected it now. We have created a fractions on a number line. Follow the same pattern as problem 1, but with thirds. Okay, so that's what we did. Up here, we did that as well. Now, down here, we're going to do this with thirds. What we're gonna do, we're gonna use the shapes tool in the line and create, instead of making half of it, we're gonna do 3 parts. So this is gonna be 3 parts, okay? And try to make them as even as you can. So every whole is going to be divided into 3 parts. So there we have it. We have 3 segments out of 1, and each segment is identical to the next one. Okay, now here we're only going to demonstrate 1 third. So I'm going to mark it up with my box highlighter, and that's going to be 1 third, because we're going to find fractions that are the same to 1 third. Now, can you color the one in the middle? It will not matter. It still represents 1 third. Can you shade or color the one at the end? It will not matter. All right, so here we go. Then this is what your equation will be. That represents 1 third. This one also represents 1 third. So each of these shapes represents 1 third. Now we're gonna find the equivalent fractions for each of them. Let us begin. Okay, on this one, if we press enter and make sure you use the multiplication symbol so it works best that way. So let's add the multiplication symbol. That should be there. And now remember, we divided this one 2 times, right? That's 1, this is 2. So we're gonna multiply that actually, I'm sorry, that's not how it is done. Hang on. So we're going to divide now this, where's my shapes? Right here. So we're gonna divide it once, right? So now we have not only one division, so now we have halves, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 divisions. So that means this equation is going to be multiplied by 3 over 3, okay? And when you put an equal sign, 3 times 3 equals 3, and 3 times 3 equals 9. Now, that does not match. You see that does not match. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's not correct. Okay, now here's what the problem is. We divided it in half. So the whole shape was divided in half. So we're going to do 2 over 2. And that's going to be 2 times 1 equals 2 on the numerator. And 3 times 3 equals 6 on the denominator. So that will be, the answer will be, the equivalent fraction for 1/2 in this particular shape will be 2 sixths. And that, my friends, it makes sense because this is 1/6, 2 sixths, 2 out of 6. All right, let's continue with the next one. The next one will be, instead of doing only one particular division, we're going to do two. So there's going to be one. So remember now, this one was divided by two times, right? So now, how many segments do you have? You create three. One, two, three. Now we're going to multiply that times three. And let me go to my equation. So that's going to be times 3 over 3. And enter. And 3 times 1 equals 3 slash 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay, now that has to match our shape. But let's see. It says right here that the 1/3 is the same thing as 3 nines. Well, let's check. So this is a 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 out of 9 shapes, segments. And that problem is correct. Let's continue with the next one. So how many divisions are we going to make now? Tell me. That is correct. And this one was one division. We created two. And this one was divided in three parts. Now we're going to divide it into four parts, four equal parts. So I will start in the middle. Pressing the shift key, it gives you a straight line. Now each half is going to be divided into fourths. So there it is. And there it is. So now let's press. So now we created one, two, three, four. Four of them. So let's do that. So we're going to multiply by what number, my friends? That is correct. We're going to multiply by 4 because we created 4 rows. So it's going to be 4 over 4 equals, the numerator is 1 times 4 equals 4. The denominator is 3 times 4 equals 12. So that is the equivalent fraction. Now, let me repeat once again so you understand what are equivalent fractions. In this shape, we know that 1/3 is the same as 4/12. And that means they are equivalent fractions. Here is the next one. Now, let's continue looking at what we have done. We made 2 rows, then we created 3 rows over here. Then we created 4 rows. Now we're going to create 5 of them. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that is our representation of equivalent fractions. So now we're going to multiply the 1/2, 1/3. How many rows did we make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rows. So that means 5 over 5. When you do that, you multiply the numerators. 1 times 5 equals 5, and 3 times 5 equals 15. Again, that needs to match our number above. So let's see if our equivalent fractions are the same. 1/3 has to be the same as 5/15. Well, let's check this out. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is, in fact, 5 out of 15 total. My friends, watch this video again if you need repetition. Repetition helps your brain understand what you are learning. Your coach, Mr. Magno, advises you. And remember, I will always send you out into the right path for you to do well. Thank you for watching.